Từ năm 2007, Trường Đại học Ngân hàng Thành phố Hồ Chí Minh, gọi tắt là BUH, đã hợp tác với Trường Đại học Khoa học Ứng dụng Tây Bắc Thụy Sĩ, gọi tắt là FHNW, triển khai chương trình thạc sĩ quản trị kinh doanh chuyên ngành tài chính ngân hàng, Executive MBA in Financial and Banking tại Việt Nam. Đây là một trong những số ít chương trình đào tạo thạc sĩ chuyên sâu trong lĩnh vực tài chính ngân hàng, đáp ứng nhu cầu nguồn nhân lực chất lượng cao cho hệ thống ngân hàng và các tổ chức tài chính trong nước. Cho đến nay, chương trình đã triển khai được 14 khóa với 12 khóa đã tốt nghiệp và ra trường. Đã có những cựu sinh viên tốt nghiệp hiện đang làm việc và nắm giữ những vị trí quan trọng tại các ngân hàng, quỹ đầu tư, các tổ chức tài chính nổi tiếng trong và ngoài nước, đánh giá cao về hiệu quả thực tế của chương trình.
Chương trình học cũng đã cung cấp những kiến thức rất là thực tiễn, hiện đại và toàn diện về các lĩnh vực về tài chính ngân hàng trên thế giới và Việt Nam, nhằm giúp chúng tôi hiểu rõ hơn được về thị trường tài chính, thị trường vốn, thị trường tiền tệ ở trên thế giới. Đồng thời cũng nắm bắt được rõ hơn các thực trạng và xu hướng phát triển của thị trường tài chính thế giới trong thời gian qua và trong tương lai. Chương trình cũng giúp tôi là có được thêm những kiến thức sâu rộng về thực tiễn hoạt động kinh doanh và quản trị tại các ngân hàng hiện đại, ví dụ như là quản trị về rủi ro, quản trị về các danh mục đầu tư.
Chương trình Executive MBA in Financial and Banking, thạc sĩ quản trị kinh doanh chuyên ngành tài chính ngân hàng, được giảng dạy toàn bộ bằng tiếng Anh bởi các giáo sư, tiến sĩ, giảng viên của FHNW, BUH và các chuyên gia đến từ các tổ chức tài chính danh tiếng. Sau khi hoàn thành chương trình học, học viên sẽ nhận được bằng Executive MBA in Financial and Banking do FHNW cấp với giá trị quốc tế và được Bộ Giáo dục Đào tạo Việt Nam công nhận. Ngoài kiến thức học thuật, chương trình còn chia sẻ những kinh nghiệm và tình huống thực tế của các giảng viên. Cùng với đó, học viên sẽ có 3 tuần học tập và tham quan thực tế tại Thụy Sĩ để tiếp xúc, gặp gỡ và trao đổi với các chuyên gia đến từ các tổ chức tài chính có uy tín trên thế giới.
Okay, Mr. Vu, as a representative of Banking University of Ho Chi Minh City, can you tell us why that the two institutions have chosen this program?
Okay, so as you know, Vietnam are in the growth of the very deeply integration to the world's economies. Okay. And from the end of 2006, we will become a member of the WTO. And in the next year, in 2015, we will become a member of the ASEAN Economic Community. One of the most important of the economic community of the ASEAN is they will have the free labor movement between nations in Southeast Asia countries. And so it means that at this time, our labor have to work in the international working environment. We not only compete or work together with the Vietnamese college, but we will work, we will cooperate, we will compete with the college from Thailand, from Malaysia, and other countries in the region. We think that one of the responsibilities of the university is preparing the human resource for the economic integration. And so this is our clear strategy for that. And so the international cooperation is is a very important part of the strategy. When we develop the collaborative trainings program with the foreign university, and so we can help the economy to train the high quality human resource at the Vietnam, who understand the international standards and who best in foreign languages and who adapts with the new requirement of the labor market. We also can learn a lot from when we work together with college from the foreign university. And about the executive MBA program in finance and banking, and from 2006 we only start to work with the college from University of Applied Science in Northwestern Switzerland. And we figure out that both universities we share the same vision of the qualities based on the curriculum and the quality of the faculty members. And the second one, the Switzerland are very famous university all over the world in finance and banking industry. It's become a very reputable brand name in the world about that. And so the University of Applied Science Northwestern Switzerland is one of the leading university in the system of the Applied Science University in Switzerland. The reason why two universities decide to work together. And we start our program from the 2007, and we will get some success in our program now. And I think that both institutions are happy about this cooperation.
Okay. Well, according to whatever Mr. Wu was saying, Marcus, do you think there's a potential market for the EMBA program here in Vietnam for both of you?
I'm absolutely convinced. It was actually the reason why we were looking at Vietnam. We were basically first looking for cooperation in Vietnam, and in the second step we were then looking for a suitable partner. We are convinced that mainly the economic ties between Switzerland and Vietnam, they will grow rapidly in the future, because Vietnam offers a huge potential with a young, dedicated population. So we are convinced it will be very important for Switzerland to have people in Switzerland knowing about Vietnam, but also people in Vietnam knowing about Switzerland in order to support these raising interconnections. So that is the reason why we came here, and that's the reason why we believe in the potential. Because our point of view, I think, has now proven right, and more Vietnamese and Swiss become aware of the fact that the other country is important for their own country.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the curriculum. Is it difficult for the two institutions work together to plan out a curriculum to work for everyone? Is it difficult?
It is difficult indeed, because the universities, despite the fact that we both strive for internationalization, that we both are very result-oriented, we have very different constraints. We are in a different system. So it needs a lot of work, it needs a lot of attention, and it needs people who have the right mindset. And that was actually the decisive reason for us to choose Banking University. Of course, Banking University has a special function in the banking system, right. But the decisive factor was that we found out that the people in the Banking University were also result-oriented and business-minded. Nevertheless, the big challenge is to bring that spirit also to the faculty, to bind the faculty together. And I think there we are never at our goal. But what we have is a constant improvement. We have common task forces assessing curricula. We have special discussion groups where we follow up new projects. We have regularly mutual visits on top level. So we are now in a very close cooperation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Wu, would you like to add something to that?
And so, you know, the curriculum is very important for one training program, as you know. And we already discussed a lot and to define the curriculum for the program. And we also have to work year by year, as you know, by the board of academic up to university to update the curriculum, you know, to keep pace with the change of the markets both in Europe and in Vietnam as well. And so we were very happy that we would bring to the Vietnamese student in Vietnam and the new approach for the modern financial market. And several modules we mentioned will adapt with the development of the new financial service, as I mentioned. We have the module based on the wealth management, about the derivative, the private bank, for example, or some type of the alternative investments, such as the private equity or venture capital. I think that is some news product will be very popular in Vietnam in the future.
We know that there are so many EMBA programs here in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. Therefore, you must have many competitors, right?
That's right.
What can you do to differentiate yourself?
Yeah. Oh, that is an excellent question. I think it is actually similar, like in other fields as well. First of all, you need to be well known. Otherwise, you cannot carry the message. But that is just the first step. I think you really need also to make clear what is the special aspects. In our case, I think we come with a very clear, very practical oriented approach, and we have actually a workforce which cannot be easily copied. You know, as I said, 1/3 of a high qualified faculty is high ranking officials and executives from the financial industry, from a country which ranks top in that industry. That is pretty unique, in all modesty. Another thing which I think makes us really special, we are driving a long-term strategy. This means we took a lot of time to find out what is important for the Vietnamese market. We didn't just copy a course from Switzerland and then sell it here. We have, as I described, a collaboration discussion going on. So if I may use a term from the gaming industry, we localized the product up to a point where I think it is not easy to copy. Last point, I think alumni are a very important factor, and very important factor, yeah. And we can say again, in all modesty, that our alumni now are quite well placed, and word of mouth is spreading, so that will also help us in the competition.
Mm-hmm. Well, Marcus, studying an EMBA is a big investment to many people, and for EMBA, especially people who are currently working, it's difficult for you to target them, to get them into your school.
Of course, that is not easy, because it is costly, and I also think it points out to another difference between the Swiss labor market and the Vietnamese labor market. I very agree with you. This is an investment. Sadly, so that is not always be seen by the companies. So this investment is usually fully paid by the students themselves. Whereas in Switzerland, usually the companies make a big contribution. They see it not as a cost factor, but as an investment, and free the students of that burden. I think if we could change the mindset in the industry to see that, our burden of attracting students would be relieved a little bit. Nevertheless, for us it's very important that the students have to contribute, because if we cannot attract students, then we know we do something wrong. So it is important for us to let the students pay, because we promise them it is an investment. That forces us to prove it, to show them where is the payback. So it is an important thing, but when we look at the figures, at the numbers of enrollment, we can say obviously our arguments that this is really an investment, they were convincing so far.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for sharing and coming onto the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Cảm ơn quý vị đã theo dõi cuộc trò chuyện của chúng tôi. Xin hẹn gặp lại trong câu chuyện kinh doanh lần sau.